Hey guys, zpolt here and I'm back for another video, and today we're gonna take a look at another CCA. This time it's the CCA A10. This is the all-BA counterpart of the CCA C10, and most of you guys know the CCA C10 is my top recommendation under $30. So how will this fare against the C10 and also the top recommendations here in this channel? We're gonna find out in this video. Alright, but of course, a big thanks to Better Audio US for sending this over. Links down below for their shop. Use their links, it will help out the channel a lot. Alright, so let's unbox the CCA first. So the CCA A10 is around $70, so it's more expensive compared to your CCA C10. And the box is pretty standard. Pin type 0.75 millimeters, 20 to 40,000 hertz, 15 ohm impedance. So the box is pretty standard. Let's open this up, and you're greeted with the A10 itself, typical KZ cable, the brown one, and it's nice that it comes with the new KZ connector here. So you have starlight tips, typical KZ, and I got the blue version of the A10. So right off the bat, this is a bit weighty. This is a bit heavier compared to your KZ AS10, but it does look good. I do like the finish here. So it has a 5 driver at the side and CCA also, and the design looks like the AS12 that I have seen in the photos. I do like the color. Here at the other side you have plastic and see-through also, and also blue in color, and it's quite big also. So this is already in the top tier in terms of build quality when it comes to KZ. Pretty stable as with any other new KZ connectors. I do like the fit here, and this is how it looks like when plugged in. So again, I don't like that brown color with the KZ cables. I wish it was black or any other color, or maybe even the silver plated color that KZ has. And also the preforming here fits in the ear. L plug also, and in the fork you have pretty small fork. Alright, so pretty standard build quality overall. I would say that is a slight notch up compared to your KZ AS10, but yes, this is still KZ build. This is not something to write home about, it's just okay here. So this is how it looks like. So as you guys can see, this is a bit big. It does protrude from your ear a bit. As you guys can see, about 1/4 an inch protruding from the ear. And the ear definitely can feel it. It does seal well, but you can definitely feel the weight on your ear. In terms of fit, this is really similar to the AS10. In terms of comfort, I would say that this is medium in terms of comfort. Not the most comfortable in the ear that I have worn, because you can really feel the weight on your ear, and you can also feel how big the earlobes are. Right, so let's proceed to the sound. So the A10 is slightly different from what I'm usually hearing from KZs and CCAs, and the mids are also slightly recessed, also slight treble elevation at the top. So definitely this is more of a treble focused earphone. So tonality is more clean and dry sounding compared to being rich sounding. So this is more of a, again, more clinical kind of sound here in the A10. The highs here are aggressive. It also has a crispy texture to the highs. There's a slight sibilance here. It can also be peaky at times, especially in the cymbals, which makes the sound a little bit thin. Good detail here overall though, nice extension also. So I'd say good highs overall. I'd say it's one of the strengths of the CCA A10. The mids here are not super rich, again it's more clean mids, but still has good body. So even if it's slightly recessed, it also resolves a lot of detail here. So again, there's a lot of detail to throw around, especially in the mids department. Bass is tight, not overpowering. I'd say it will be lacking for bass heads. This is not a bass heads IEM, but due to that fast bass, it still delivers substantial bass response here. There's still good bass energy in your ear when you're listening to it, so it's not bass shy at all. There's still substantial bass here to throw around. Clean sound here in the bass department overall, very lean sounding. Soundstage is above average, similar to the CCA C10. Not that expensive. I would say this is the typical KZ soundstage. Imaging is above average here, not the best that I've heard, not super accurate also. So I would say all right in the imaging department. Separation here is very good. I'd say this is better definitely compared to the AS10. There's no congestion here. So because of that cleaner sound overall, the separation here I would say is very good. One of the best in KZs that I have heard, especially in the price range. So I would say this is one of the strong suits of the A10. So overall in terms of sound, I was surprised here when I listened to the A10. This is not what I'm usually used to with KZ. So this gives a sense that it's more for critical listening than casual listening. So not a lot of bass, more for treble, and also a lot of detail to throw around, especially in the mids and highs department. So this is something that I can use for critical listening and also even for monitoring. That's the vibe that I'm getting here in the A10. So compared to the popular earphones here in the channel, compared to the TFZ S2, the S2 is definitely richer sounding. It's thicker sounding. It also has more boomy bass, more warmth also in the S2. I would say more balanced sound overall in the S2 as well. Bigger stage also. Overall in terms of detail retrieval, I'd give the edge to the A10, but I prefer the S2 overall because of that richer sound and also bigger stage. So I still prefer the S2. So compared to the CCA C10, so the C10 is 10 drivers also, but DD at the bass department. So the C10 definitely has more boomy bass, more warmth in general. So for bass heads, you might like the C10 more. C10 has more rich sound also. It's more relaxed sounding also, less aggressive sounding. Separation is better in the A10. Imaging is better in the C10. The stage here is similar. So C10 is more for casual listening, A10 is more for critical listening. I say they both have a place in the market. Compared to the TFZ T2, the T2 has a more boomy bass, more enjoyable, more fun sound in the T2. The stage in the T2 is definitely bigger. Imaging is better also in the T2. Separation is better in the T2. T2 has more sibilance though compared to the A10. Overall, again, these are different IEMs. They're tuned differently. A10 is more for critical listening. T2 is more for casual listening. So for me, I still like the T2 more because the T2 still also has that detail. So I can still use the T2 as well if I want to monitor. To compare to the T-Audio T3, so actually from the list, the T3 is the closest sounding for me to the A10 from all the IEMs that I have. So the bass is a little bit more boomy in the T3, but both are still fast. So definitely there's more bass in the T3. T3 is more natural sounding. Both have that focus in the treble in the highs department also. So imaging is better in the T3. Separation is better in the T3 because it has better imaging. Stage is similar here. So overall, I still prefer the T3. T3 is a more natural sounding overall and also more balanced sounding. So if you like even less bass, if you like really clarity focused earphones, maybe the A10 is for you. Otherwise, I would go for the T3. Alright, so since my friend is here, he's a musician, I'm gonna have him test the A10 also.
Because it's really clear. I can even hear separation from the music and the voicings, so it's a plus. Clarity
and separation.
Separation.
So more of those two.
It sounds flat, but at the same time compressed. So I get the right music that I like to hear.
So overall, I was surprised by the deviation of what I'm usually hearing from KZs. Not a lot of bass here, and also a pretty technical earphone altogether because of that clarity focused tuning, and also in terms of detail retrieval across the range, and also again not a lot of bass here. So this is differently tuned from what I'm usually hearing. So the A10 definitely is for those looking for clarity focused earphones, analytical in general. So this is something for critical listening more than a casual listen. So for those who's used to rich sounding IEMs, you might find this a bit boring. So this is much like my Bayer Dynamic DT1990 compared to my Iliers. So the DT1990 is drier in comparison, is more clinical in comparison, more boring in comparison, but a lot of detail with the DT1990. So for $70, this is in the more expensive side of the budgetfi range. Definitely I'll be more critical here. I wish I had a better cable in the $70 range. So still you have the KZ cable that they include as well in the $10 range. So I wish you have at least an 8-core cable, especially when the T3 already has that you know, very good build, 8-core cable in the T3. So in terms of build, this is left to be desired, but at least for sound, this is unique in a sense. If you're a KZ fan, this will be a unique addition to your kit. Definitely this is not for everybody, but I would say for $70, because of that uniqueness, it might still be worthwhile. But I'd be more happy if this is $40 to $50. I think that is more of the price range that I'm looking at for this IEMS. Alright, so that is my review of the A10. Hopefully you like this review. If you learned something, of course, leave a like, and of course subscribe for more content like this in the future. And of course, have you listened to the A10 already? What do you think of the A10? Do you like it? Not like it? Let me know down below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.